Very funny lady, a friar, you're gonna love her, Sandy Ehlers! Ehlers!
Thanks, Bob Greenberg. How you doing, everybody? Yay, with the Actors Temple. I'm not Jewish, though. That's okay, though, right? You forgive me, right? You having a happy spring? We're having a happy spring, right? Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful springtime. It's wonderful. I'm from Hoboken. I hail from Hoboken, New Jersey. You guys know Hoboken? Yeah. Yay, home of Frank Sinatra and baseball. Frank Sinatra and baseball. My grandmother, my Italian nonna, she changed old Blue Eyes diapers. That's right. He was 77 years old when she did that, but it made me famous. Crazy Italian mother. She was crazy, my mom. You know, I would come home from school and she'd say, don't put your shoes on the table. Don't put your hat on the bed, because it's bad luck. Bad luck for the Italians to do that. Very superstitious. And I would say to her, but Uncle Tommy's gun on the counter, Mom, that's okay with you? Terrible, terrible Italians. They're just terrible. You know, my mom, she passed away recently. It's hard, Mother's Day, you know, when you lose your mother. And I feel bad, you know, I miss her. Because I realize at this age, no one makes you feel like a piece of shit like your mother. I knew the Jews would love that. It's true. I mean, no one makes you feel so insignificant. Think about it, right? You go to the house, you're wearing your best outfit, you think you look good, and then she opens the door. You wearing that? Is that what you're wearing? My mother was such a pain in the ass that I moved out at 19. I moved 5 blocks from her house. She didn't know where I was for 5 years. She ran into me in the supermarket. It was horrible. It was horrible. I remember when she passed away, I was crying to my brother-in-law. I'm like, Mickey, she didn't even live to see me get married. He put his arm around me and said, Sandra, honey, none of us are going to live to see you get married. And he died last year. You had to see me trying to revive him, man. That was my only hope. I'm like, I can't take this. So yeah, you know, my criteria changed a lot. You know, being a single woman, when I was younger and thinner, my criteria used to be tall, dark, and handsome. Now it's breathing with teeth and hair. And my sister said that's too picky. Now, sadly, limbs are optional. Certain limbs. You know, I'll take a restless leg, you know, because if it's vibrating, I'm just going to sit on it. I don't care. And not to be anything, it's just that the washing machine's a front load now, you know? It's difficult. You want to multitask in this day and age. So it's hard to meet somebody, and it's very difficult. My friends have kids, you know, I'm sure everybody here has children, right? Mother's Day, celebration of life. It's not for everybody. Easter's hard for me, because I think, why didn't I sell my eggs? Yeah. That's tough. My friends have kids. It's not for everybody. They make me the godmother. I don't want to be the godmother. I don't want to be. If I wanted to have a child, I would have had a child. So I have little Joey and Christopher, my godkids, you know. I walk in the door and little Joey, they're so cute, 7 years old, right? Aunt Sandra, you feel bad? You never had a baby? Not when I see you, you little shit. All comes together for Aunt Sandra. You know, it's not for everybody, those kids. It's terrible. Then my friends, they want me to tell the kids about sex. Why? They said because I'm a tramp. I would know. That's terrible in the temple saying that about me. Those days are gone. I'm not a tramp anymore. So I have to tell little Joey, he's like, what's sex? What's it for? For about 7 minutes, Joey. And in the case of your mother, it's just for jewelry. Not for everybody, you know. I have a friend that got married at 50 years old, second time around. I didn't even get married once. She said to me, are you upset you're not in my wedding? I took her to my house. I showed her 25 gowns I wore, 25 bouquets I caught, all telling me I would get married next. No, I don't need to be in your wedding. She says, I want my father to walk me down the aisle, dance with me, daddy's little girl. No, he's in a gurney, and you're 50. She says, I want something old. How about yourself? She says, I want something new. Didn't we just join AARP? We got in at the junior rate. I want something borrowed. What about time? Rosemary. She says, I want something blue. I'm going with the veins in your legs now. You're pissing me off. She still has the walker I gave her, too, with the balloons and everything. It's not for everybody. Not for everybody. It's terrible. And I hate people. You know, can I say that, Rabbi? I'm supposed to love my neighbor. I hate my neighbor. I hate my neighbor, and I hate everybody else. Because you know why? I'm in the menopause. I hit the menopause. And the menopause stinks. You women know what it's like. I find now when I cough and laugh, pee my pants now, just a little. Men come up to me, they go, what are you wearing? I go, it's urine by Ralph Lauren. Take me out to the ball game. Hair on my legs fell off. They just fell off. Fell off from the knee down, the hair fell off. My sister calls, she goes, did the hair ever grow back on your legs? I'm like, no, sis, I just have it on my chin and my chest now. I got a 5 o'clock shadow. I got long hairs coming out of my face. I see it on the bus. They're like flapping in the wind like this. I feel like I'm on Urban Cowboy. Fighting with young kids, you know? And I have to work. I have to work full time. I'm a single girl. I have to depend on myself. I go out at night. I try to meet men. My friends still say this to me, my girlfriends. I'm dancing with a guy. They're like, oh, he's trying to get in your pants. I'm like, I'm trying to get in my pants. We have that Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, we're doing conscious uncoupling. That's what my boobs do when I take my bra off at night. Horrible. Having a hard time. I really am. I really am having a rough. I gained weight. I had to go back to Weight Watchers. Bob's in Weight Watchers too. Of course, he lose double the weight I lose. You know? It's terrible. I have to work. I work for Italians. These little Italians down on McDougal Street. And they're horrendous. My boss's name is Nicky Nuts. Honest to God, maybe it's something from the Italian that came back to me, right? I'm telling him a joke. He said he had a sense of humor. I told him I'm a comedian. I smacked him on the back. His eye fell out. Started rolling down the corridor. I'm like, this is a job interview. I went to community college. I don't need this. So I'm washing out the eye in the bathroom like I do 3 times a week. And I was thinking to myself, goes right in the socket too. Right in. Right in. He's obsessed with Frank Sinatra too. You know, and obsessed with Viagra. Obsessed. The guy gives me, he's 80, the wife is 40. He gives me a little blue pill. He goes, I only take half. Look. I go, that's because you're half the size, Nikki. That gets you in trouble, right? He says, I wish they had this when I was younger. I wish they had this 30 years ago. I'm like, you would be dead. You'd be dead. Right now, we give it to you to keep you from falling out of bed. It's like a kickstand. He fell for it, too. He liked that joke. He liked it. So it's not for everybody. You have to work. You have to go to Weight Watchers, sit in Weight Watchers. They want to know what my breaking point was. What threw you over the edge, Sandy? What was it that threw you over the edge? I'm standing next to a girl who looks like this. This is always what happens, right? Brittany with the high cheekbones. I'm like, Brittany, we have that in my family. It's just below the waist. She wants to lose 10 pounds. I had to dress up just to get on the scale. I'm like, Brittany, just get away from me. Get away from me. I'm in a Spanx. Do you know what a Spanx is, Brittany? She goes, what? When I spank my boyfriend, I go, it's a girdle. If I just pull this down halfway, you're going to go through the wall like a tsunami. I want to know what my breaking point was. What was your breaking point, Sandra? What threw you over the edge? Why are you eating so much? That men are being offered frequent flying miles to date you. What's your problem? And I lost it. I'm like, yeah, you want to know what my breaking point was? You want to know what my breaking point was? I lifted up my left boob and I found popcorn under there. And the remote control was under there. There was a pencil under there. That night, Joe Franklin's head was under there because he was... I miss Joe. I miss him. He was a short guy. It was easy. It was easy, guys. It was easy. So it's hard when you hate people. It's hard when you can't get along. It's hard, you know, you get up every day, you try for the best, right? I get up. It's just a difficult life when you're in the menopause. That's why when I used to come home from school, I remember my mother, she used to fling a fork at my father. She used to hit him in the head and she used to draw blood. And that was just him walking in the door. That was the menopause. That'll do it to you. So you got to watch. On Weight Watchers, I get the points like Bob says. I found out a martini is 7 points. I have 3 martinis, a baked potato. I'm good. I'm good. I'm going in losing weight. I'm drunk, but I'm good. It's not for everybody. So like I'm gonna leave you with a Nicky Nuts joke. You seem like a good audience. You seem like you like Italians, right? We're dysfunctional. We're dysfunctional. We really are. Like I said, my mother. There are times my sister says, Sandra, I don't miss her sometimes because she was such a pain. So the Nicky Nuts joke goes like this. This kid goes up to his dad and he says, Dad, what's the difference between theoretically and realistically? And the father said, Son, I'll tell you. He says, go downstairs and ask your sister if she'd sleep with the guy next door that just won the lottery for $2 million. Now the sister was older, like 30 years old. You know how they stay home and they never leave, right? So he goes down, he comes up, the kid, he says, Dad, Sissy said she'd sleep with the guy next door that just won the lottery for $2 million. He says, okay. Now go upstairs and ask your mother. She's folding laundry. He says, Dad, I don't want to do this. He goes, Son, I'm trying to teach you a lesson. 10-year-old kid. Son, I'm trying to help you. Go upstairs. He comes back down. He says, Dad, Mom too said that she would sleep with the guy next door that just won the lottery for another $2 million. Father said, you see, son, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Theoretically, we could be sitting on $4 million. Realistically, we're living with 2 friggin' tramps. I'm Sandy Ehlers. Thank you very much.